'em up, lay it down just like Matt Amari. Wrestling liver RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party. Moolah Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca Belair, Best podcast, flush it in the air, Roman Reigns and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt Amari. Wrestling liver RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Wrestling RHAPUp podcast. I'm your host, Mari Forth, and with me, as always, my tag team partner, my co-host, Mr. Matt Scott. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here with you, Mari. Happy to talk shop, talk wrestling. I don't know what talking shop is really about, but it's probably involves talking wrestling.
Yeah, we're back again. We're at our regularly scheduled program. Thank you everybody for checking out Pride and Pro Wrestling last week. We are so glad that we got to do a very special Pride focused episode talking about wrestling and LGBTQ issues. Thank you to all of our guests. Thank you to Matt for getting me that amazing cameo
from your friend Shayna Baszler.
Oh, that was so great. I was so happy for that. That was fun. That was a fun little surprise for me. But yeah, that was great. I think that was perfect. What about you, Matt?
Look, I love that conversation. I think especially because it went deep into kind of like the unexpected. It wasn't just like and maybe much in the spirit of Pride. It wasn't like, oh, let's wave the flag and be happy and celebrate everything. It was just a real conversation about things that we love, but mainly things that need to be improved. There's a lot of work to do, places to go, but we talked about it, and I hope people go back and check that out if they haven't seen it already.
Definitely. And we have a very special guest with us. Matt, will you do the introduction?
Oh, hell yeah, I'll do an introduction, Mari. One day I'll say no, though.
I know that I'm gonna be like, oh.
All right. Now, making her way to the podcast for the first time on the Wrestling RHAPUp, please welcome a former lighter thief, an incense snob, usually the most unserious in a room, and a fan of WWE, AEW, CBS, MTV, Bravo, music, astrology, coming to us from Texas by way of New Orleans. Please welcome Torin. La Pachamama.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm actually crying. Like, you can't see it, but I'm crying.
Thank you for being
like, that was beautiful.
Oh,
that was
it is so good.
I'm crying.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thank you. Most people would pay for that.
I know. So many people have said they wanted to. They said they just wanted him following them around and
like, send me your Cash App. That was beautiful.
Oh my god! I'm like, how much are you willing to pay for that? Because
like just $1, but just $1.
Okay, I have my rates.
He said not worth it. Okay,
we'll talk. Friends and family discount. It's cool.
How are you guys? Thank you for inviting me. Happy to be here.
Of course. Torin, can you tell us a little bit about your background when it comes to wrestling and like, are you a new fan, an old fan, a casual fan, a hardcore? Tell us a little bit about what got you into wrestling.
Yikes, Maura, you're putting me on the spot. Oh my God. So I have been an avid fan of wrestling on and off, but mostly on for the better part of 10, 15 years, probably around the 05, 06 era. Started watching few episodes of SmackDown here and there. You know, we didn't have cable, but it was something that was on consistently. We got cable. Started watching Raw. I just recently got into NXT this past year. I enjoy it. AEW, I enjoy. So I say all that to say, like, I kind of took a break in the middle when I was in college. I missed the whole John Cena superhero title defenses every week. I missed the whole like Shield breakup and everyone getting their moment to shine, but I'm back and I'm able to appreciate it just based off me having been a fan since I was like 10.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's awesome. That seems to be the case. I know that's what me and Matt did. Like as soon as you hit college, you you kind of forget about wrestling. But yeah.
And at this point, people are just like, "Are y'all still watching this?" I'm like, I mean, I haven't been to a show. There's avid fans. Like I'm a good fan, but I don't have front seat of WrestleMania money.
No.
Neither do we.
We'll be like rubbing some sticks together and probably making some potions, and we'll see what happens.
I have 2 nickels to rub together. My
rub some nickels together too. You might need a quarter to pay for WrestleMania front row tickets, but
I just got Peacock this year. Like at this point, I'm front row, in my opinion.
That reminds me that we need to look into when the WrestleMania 40 tickets go on sale. I think they're going to go on sale pretty soon, Matt.
Stress.
We already said we were going to do it. That's the WrestleMania in Philly.
I'm getting stressed.
Oh, it's in Philly?
Philly. Yes.
Sheesh. Okay. Oh, closer to y'all. Okay.
Yeah,
support you. Please go.
We are. All right, I'll look at that later. But anyways,
Ticketmaster.com. Let's just buy our tickets now, Mari. You're paying.
You're paying. You got all that money over there.
Sure. What the hell? Don't do that to me. That's not. Oh, how dare you? Okay, let's get into wrestling.
Let's get into some news. AEW has announced a new show. It's called Collision. It'll be on every Saturday starting today. We are recording June 17th. Collision will come on tonight at 8 p.m. Another big announcement is CM Punk will be returning on AEW Collision, because AEW Collision will be taking place in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, of course, his hometown, and he will be teaming up with FTR to go against Samoa Joe and Juice Robinson and Jay White in a 3-on-3 match. Yeah, another wrestling property for us to try and keep up with. Matt, how are we feeling?
I'm just trying to summon my energy for this one, because I am all over the place with this. Like, one is that lately I feel like this news or the rumors of Collision have been coming for months and months and months, like maybe since late last year. And then of course rumors of CM Punk returning have been ongoing since he left, but then also those have been going on. So there wasn't really like a big surprise here. I think, like, I don't know exactly who's best to credit, but one of the sources I know who's broken some of that news has been the Matt Men podcast, Andrew Zarian and all them. And so, I mean, I'm always happy when there's a draw that is returning, and CM Punk is a draw to some extent for some people. I just, how do I put this? I just don't know who those people are at this point, because nobody seems excited about his return. I mean, like, you know, in terms of overness, like, I feel like with CM Punk at this point, there's nothing of the sort.
Yeah, I mean, if this is for you, it's for you. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing, the rest of the cards looking pretty okay too. I didn't know between cool, good, or okay, but it's looking pretty good. We got Wardlow versus Luchasaurus in a TNT Championship match, so that's nice. Miro is back in action. He'll be back in action. Last time we saw him was at All Out in 2022. So
question.
Yes.
I haven't been keeping up with AEW, but has there been any mention made of Miro in the past month or two? Like, aside from us having heard it on like the little tabloids, would people have anticipated Miro coming back on Collision?
So that was my thought process. I don't think so. Same with us. We pick and choose when we dip in and dip out of AEW. I feel like I slightly remember like maybe a vignette for him, like hyping him up, but I can't remember. So, and he's just in action, so maybe it could be just like a jobber thing or something. We don't even know. They just say Miro in action, so that's good. I mean, at least they're advertising him. Yeah. I'm very excited about Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale, the new IWGP Strong Woman Champion, versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. So versus the AEW Women's Champion and Ruby Soho. So that should be fun. That should be real fun. Buddy Matthews will be going up against Andrade El Idolo. So Andrade's like back healthy again. That's good.
Okay, Buddy.
I don't know why him and Buddy Matthews are fighting.
Buddy gets down.
Buddy's great. Yeah, he's in House of Black and all that, but I'm trying to think. I don't remember them feuding, but who knows? And then finally CM Punk will speak. So that's everything that's announced for Collision. I don't know if it's an hour. It's probably 2 hours, I guess. It doesn't say here, but
this may be a foolish question, but what channel is it on? Doesn't
TNT.
Oh.
So the normal one, like the Dynamite one.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. It says the show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on TNT. So
just to let you know, there's a fly that's like giving me the blues over here. I'm trying to make it look not noticeable.
Look, just swat it away. And you know what? Honestly, I feel like that's like CM Punk right now because he is like swatting away the haters. There have been some rumors of an interview that he did with ESPN coming out where, just like Phil Brooks loves to do, he's doing those work shoots and trying to pretend that we I'm not gonna say that we still care. People do still care and value it, but it's just like evolve. He needs to evolve. And you know, I hope that he's doing well wherever he is.
He's getting kind of old to still be like a little, not old, but like you can't be problematic, friend. Like it's funny. I like mess.
Right.
At this point, what are you talking about anymore?
Yeah, like at a certain point when you're like 45 or whatever old he is, like you need to be like peaceful. You need to be like lighting candles and things. And he's just fighting people. And sir, like that's not cute.
Even the Ocho has his wholesome moments. Like
y'all are really trying to get the Punk stands to come after us.
Yeah, we do. And actually at us, please, at Wrestling RHAPUp on Twitter. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you with how much you love him, because I would like to be convinced. I don't have anything against him.
I love Philip, actually. I drink Pepsi.
I like the letters C and M.
Anyway,
well, the good thing is, this is another spot on the card. This is more opportunities for people to get on TV. So, it's great. I just thought to myself, do they still do like AEW Dark or like Elevation? Oh my god!
Oh,
I feel like I haven't heard about it in like forever.
No, I actually, you know what? There was some change.
Sure.
There was some change because I don't know if it's Elevation is gone now or if.
They took one off.
I don't know if this is not an AEW podcast, clearly. And you know what? If you want to know the listings of Dark and Elevation and Dark Elevation, go to my favorite website, google.com, because we are not journalists.
The third Google. Oh yes, AEW Dark and Dark Elevation have ended for the time being.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this in part has to do with AEW signing a new deal for AEW Collision to air on Saturdays.
So they're going to focus all their energy into Saturday, basically.
Part of the new deal is that AEW wrestling content will exclusively air on WBD. Okay,
so it's like Warner Brothers Discovery. WBD.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's so then we have Dynamite still, we have Rampage, and then now we have Collision at this point. Okay, so I did think that there was something with them being removed from their situation.
And this was just this news was announced earlier in May, so this makes sense. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I hadn't heard about it in a minute. Okay, but yeah, so more power to it. Oh, I feel sorry for AEW that they're run by WBD because it is a shite show over there.
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is there isn't much to watch on Saturday. So, I mean, aside from Love and Marriage Huntsville, I will give it a
nice.
shot.
Oh, they're in Huntsville this year? Oh, wow.
like, there's nothing on Saturday. So, I mean, they knew what they were doing. They picked the day that nothing comes on.
Yeah, and that is, and a lot of old wrestling heads will know that like Saturday used to be like the day like for Saturday morning wrestling, like WWE or WWF at the time used to have Saturday shows and stuff like that. So it's a great move. It's a great move for them. So let's move on. Remember, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our feed by going to robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed in order to subscribe to the Wrestling RHAPup directly. Also, there's a amazing feed featuring all of the reality TV RHAPups on the Rob Has a Podcast Network. You can go to robhasawebsite.com/RHAPups feed. That's robhasawebsite.com/RHAPUPS feed. So go subscribe there. Also rate and review. If you leave a rating, we'll read it here. But let's take a quick break and we'll be back with the highlights of the week. Okay, so welcome back. The highlights of the week. Of course, every week we bring you the highlights of the week in pro wrestling, and we have compiled them all in a very handy dandy playlist that you can find either in your show notes or show descriptions, so you can watch along with us, or hey, just listen to us talk about it. But this was a very, like, we are catching up for the past 2 weeks because of our Pride episode last week. So
sure, blame Pride.
Did I blame? I was just trying to set the stage that we are catching up, Matt. We are catching up.
You haven't said the magical phrase yet, Mari, by the way.
What is the magical
Happy
phrase?
Pride. Okay. That we're supposed to say that every
Oh yeah, yes, happy Pride. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
we can go on now.
We're not gonna talk about how Matt ducked me through Pride. He completely left me stranded. It's okay. It's okay. Ignore a straight person this month. It's fine. So
wow, what a hater.
That space.
I'm not even gonna go into it because I'm
watching us on YouTube. You can watch our beautiful faces, Matt's beautifully shocked faces over on the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube page. By going to Rob Has a Podcast YouTube, search Wrestling RHAPup, and you can see us there. First up, we gotta talk about all of these new championships, all of these new titles. We kind of got into it a few weeks ago when Roman was presented the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Okay.
That's
right.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Sure. That's what it was called. Yeah. So now,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat it?
The WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Yeah. Yes. So last week, Asuka received the WWE Women's Championship.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There was the one that is. I don't know. I was so confused when this happened, though. By the way, Mari,
I know,
because I was like, wait.
It was not that big of a difference.
Like, we need to know what's happening, and I love the look, by the way, because Asuka, of course, had the Raw Women's Championship, which is the red belt, and I always just feel like, for me personally, I haven't loved like the branded simple, like it's either blue or it's red, because I feel like they show up on wherever they want to show up anyway. So I'm a fan of it this visually. Okay, Mari, sorry, I'm losing it. Does Asuka have the Women's Undisputed Championship?
So it says Women's Undisputed Championship, but they didn't say it when they announced it. And undisputed seems weird when this isn't a unified belt.
I don't think he said that.
Yeah, I think when he presented it to Asuka, he said the WWE Women's Championship.
That's what
I know he said world to Rhea Ripley. I heard that.
Exactly.
World.
Exactly. Of the world.
Well, there's two of you. Okay,
all of the worlds. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is and Matt had a really good picture of Asuka's belt. That Asuka's belt corresponds to Roman's new belt. It's that quintessential, just the WWE logo on it. And I think we gotta talk. We can stop right here and talk a little bit more about the titles here. We talked about a lot of the speculation between like Roman's titles getting unified, and we did talk about how Seth won the new World Heavyweight Championship. I think this is all good. I honestly think this is good. I think this is perfect new branding for WWE and their new parent company, Endeavor. I think this makes sense. I think WWE loves closing off eras as well. Like they love marking their own historical eras. So, and I could see that the Endeavor's parent company coming in and be like, those belts need more gold in them. They need to be less color coded, less kitty, quote unquote, Yeah, I like this. I think and now like Bianca officially will always be the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion because that's never gonna happen again. I think her losing it, you give Asuka the new belt. I like all of this. Torin, what do you think?
It's not that I have an issue per se. My only like concern is like I guess personally, if they aren't confined to one specific show or brand, in my head, I'm still looking at it like depending on who has the belt at the time, isn't one gonna be looked at as above the other one a little bit? Like Asuka is, like a higher ranking champion than Rhea Ripley, even though they could probably go 1v1 right now and go to town.
I think they're still I think they are still like brand dependent. It's just not as obvious, so that we won't keep having these awkward ass situations when the draft comes up.
That's what I figured too, because it's like, and that's the thing, like, and that was actually what I was thinking about with this, is that like I think before they were kind of spoon feeding it, like this is the Raw Women's Champion, this is the Raw Men's Tag Team Championship, this is the Raw Champ, like this is. I at least appreciate that they think that their fans, and they know that their fans are smart enough to like not get too confused. Now, I am personally confused a little bit right now, but with time,
with time
we'll catch on.
Yeah, and now that the belts have two distinctive looks, I think this is good. I actually really like it. I like that Asuka and Roman's has like the new modern look, or the modern look, and then I like that Rhea and Seth have that like kind of combined look of like the big gold with the big WWE logo. I actually love the look of all of the new belts. Honestly, I think it's going to be it's going to be easier. Like Matt said, it's going to be easier to keep up with like the differences while also not it being spoon fed. Like I don't need to see that it's red and blue. Like, we are not 5-year-olds. Like we get the difference. We don't need to have the color coding and stuff like that.
And 5-year-olds don't have much. Like they don't have much to keep up with.
Is the logo kind of like a dark silver, or is it like black in the middle?
It's black now. Yeah. And in the modern belt, it's black now. In both the titles, it's black. They put a lot more gold in there. That's
pretty swaggy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who's in that.
It's nice. I love it. So I think this is great. I think this is the way that you start your new product. This is what it should look like. Yeah, your new era, your new product. I am feeling this. Sure, it's kind of weird that Roman's took 2 belts into one, and now Seth kind of has a completely different new championship. I'm still iffy on the lineage. It's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. We'll probably talk about it more next week, but it's looking like the tag team championships are also going to get unified. The championships that Kevin and Sammy are holding. Yeah.
You mean like the opposite of unified?
No, they're getting unified.
Aren't they unified already?
No. Oh, sorry. No, they're getting like unified.
Put together.
No.
Oh yeah,
like put together.
One title.
One title. Yeah. They're gonna get
Okay.
really unified because it's gonna go from, because they're still holding the 2 belts right now. So yeah,
They
it
don't
is
even
confusing.
look right
Exactly.
holding both belts. It's
Yeah,
only an
they
Uso thing.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think anybody. I was saying that I didn't like the fact that the Usos were holding 2 belts. I'd much rather you just turn it into 1 belt than have them holding 2, because to me, I'm just looking at all the wasted potential that somebody else could have had that been holding those titles and defending those titles. Yeah, I think I think I think they'll get their new belts pretty soon after Money in the Bank as well, because that's going to be the undisputed. See, that's where the undisputed comes in. It's normally like when there's 2 titles merged together, you get the undisputed, and so they're the undisputed tag team champs. And we'll talk about the women's today. So, lot of changes, lots of unifications, a lot of undisputedness. So we're gonna keep you guys posted on all of that. Yes,
Yeah.
Are you raising your hand?
Raise your hands.
I have a question. Since you're going to talk about it next week, do you have any feelings about the Sammy KO title reign thus far?
Thus far, it just feels like they're getting their feet under them. Like, I think,
weirdly.
Yeah, it does. Like, I think they're finally kind of divorcing from this Bloodline feud. So I'm looking forward to what they're doing. They have a few multiple feuds going on. I think they're trying to figure out what to do. They have a mini feud with Imperium going on. They're going to be facing Pretty Deadly at Money in the Bank. So I think they're just trying to figure out the direction for them. And honestly, they don't really, right now, they're just still so hot from the Bloodline feud that it's okay that they're just kind of, soaking in the crowd adulations, doing having good matches. And then I think they can get them a storyline before SummerSlam.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll also just add, I think that one thing, like we look at Bianca's reign and we look at Roman's reign and we look at all these long reigns, and I think that there's sometimes a dip where it's like not as exciting, but then I think I don't think we're going to see them lose the championships anytime soon until they have that story. But inevitably there are going to be more boring moments or moments where it's like they're there, but they're not the center of the of attention. And I'm okay with that. But it is kind of, they were so hot at the start of the year, like Sammy especially, obviously. And so it does feel a little weird that they're just not more of a centerpiece, but not everyone could be the focal point of WWE at the same time, right?
Yeah. And to be fair to them, like I said, I left them out of a lot of highlights for this week because I don't know what we're going to get next week. So I got to save some content for next week, but they were pretty much they were all over the show on SmackDown last night. So, there was a fatal 5-way number 1 contenders match in order to have a shot at their titles at Money in the Bank. Like I said, Pretty Deadly won that, and there's lots of teams that are want to line up for those belts. So I think it's kind of, I think it has nothing to do with them. I think it's them. I think it's creative trying to figure out who should be the next challengers for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Sammy and KO are set up and positioned well. They just got to figure out who's going to be the next challenger and all of that. So who's going to be compelling and stuff. So, and like I said, they were on SmackDown doing that, and then they were on Raw. Kevin Owens faced Gunther on Raw last week, and they were kind of mixing it up with Imperium. So the good thing about them holding both belts is it seems like they are indeed going back and forth to both brands. They are working. So I'm not worried. I think the flip side of coming off of all these long reigns is the new champions have to now establish themselves, because Bianca came off a long reign, Asuka has to establish herself. KO and Sammy are coming off the Usos long reign. So it's just stuff like that. Speaking of which, of Asuka's new championship, she not only got a new belt, but she got multiple challengers. Last week, Bianca had this amazing backstage promo with Adam Pearce, and Bianca was basically like, "I'm angry. Asuka tried to blind me. She stole my championship. Like, I want it to be on site. And Adam Pearce is like, I have to present her with the title. Like, just, don't go out there tonight. Don't interrupt tonight. And Bianca was like, okay, I guess. But then, guess who came back to actually interrupt Asuka?
So disrespectful.
Queen Charlotte returned. We have not seen her since losing to Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. She, of course, does her spiel. She is the opportunity. There's no line. The line starts and begins with her. Stuff
But
like
also,
that.
she says that, but she's also like, I am the most respectful. Nobody respects you more than me. Like, you just interrupted. Like, literally nobody else in the world interrupted. Yeah. And by the way, I don't know why this jumps out to me this week in particular.
Yeah.
But doesn't Charlotte looks just like Chelsea Handler? Like, someone needs to do a side by side of like those two next to each other, because that's what she was giving.
You're in a timeout. You have to.
Exactly.
But you're correct.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay.
That's so funny. Yeah, I was like, okay, so Adam Pearce did all of this, and Bianca, please don't interrupt my presentation. But Charlotte can come out here and interrupt your presentation. I don't know, man. I don't know. And so then we got this really good segment from them this past week. Grayson Waller, who shout out to Grayson for having a really cool setup for his talk shows. Yes. I am normally a fan of the WWE talk show. Yes, that
he has such a great show. This was weird. this specific instance of it with Shar was weird because it was almost like it's hard to explain, but he was doing his thing, like being the heel. She was just laughing along, having a good time. And it just felt awkward. Like, she said something, he's like, oh, you could woo. And it's like, what are you people doing? And I'm glad that Bianca cut it short, because
it was very interesting. Like, it felt like
Grayson was trying the problem.
Right. Exactly. Grayson was trying to like big up Charlotte, but also be in the heel role while Charlotte was antagonizing him. I'm like, y'all are supposed to be on the same dynamic. I thought y'all were
no heels. She's not a heel though, and she's also not a face. She's like the faciest heel, you know what I mean? Like, she not even a tweener, she's the faciest heel, where she is evil, and we know this about her. She's evil, and we know it, but like, she's trying to be nice temporarily before she gets evil again. I'm
so conflicted on this because she's one of my problematic faves.
There it is.
That's it. I mean, yeah, sure.
A while ago, I was like, please save us, Charlotte. Please.
Oh, from Rhonda? Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
And her new music as a serve, that straight hair is
very interesting.
Like, it's not great, but it has a little bounce. So like, she actually has a reason to walk to the ring with the confidence that she does. Like, none of this is warranted. Trust me. Like, she doesn't need to break John Cena's titles and Randy Orton and all. Like, she doesn't need to get that close. But I don't know. Like, it's weird. I'm in it. I'm involved. Problematic phase. I'm sorry.
No, but that's her at sense, and I agree. Problematic babe. I think at her best, in my opinion, at Wrestling RHAPup, if you have a problem with that. But yeah, I do feel like she could be a problematic fave at times, and I love that for her. You know,
and I missed her NXT run. I literally just saw her for the first time, probably maybe right before Sasha and Naomi kind of left. I think when she did the thing with Alexa Bliss. That was my first time seeing her.
Yeah.
Condolences.
So I was like, okay, she's creeped out, like, rightfully so. But aside from that, like, I was just like, why does she have so many reigns? Her daddy, like, why does she have so many reigns? I don't know.
So you missed her and Sasha's back and forth then?
I'm telling you, I popped back. Well, let me start off by saying I could not force myself to watch pandemic wrestling.
Oh, okay.
I could not watch an empty arena. I literally turned the channel.
Yeah.
So I came in right when that was happening, and I pushed it back until they had people in the seats. So I missed all the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing
Not
was
good stuff, but
yeah, like Matt said, Bianca came to save this segment, and boy, how did she save this segment? I have never, I was yelling at that TV. I was like, yeah, B, yeah, sell her. Like, this was such a good promo, and I mean, Bianca chewing her up and spin her out. Charlotte did a good job. I mean, I think the biggest thing was the chemistry between the two of them was just so good. Charlotte's like, I am a 14-time champion. I can make the line, so it doesn't matter. And then Bianca being like, I am the longest reigning women's modern era champion, and it didn't take me 14 times to do it. I was like,
but that's the thing. That's it. And I think like the thing that's hilarious. She ate her up. And I think the thing that's hilarious is like the logic that Charlotte tried to go with. She's like, but Bianca, I lost my championship at WrestleMania to Rhea, so I'm owed a rematch. It's like, no, that's the other That's the other show.
Exactly. That's the other show.
You have to get in line. You don't create the line. They're like literally.
And Bianca said, yeah, you lost, and then you slunk away and went to hiding for 3 months. I was like, clock that tea. Clock that tea.
But like, see, this is like a good spot for Charlotte. I think as long as she does not, like, this just needs to be another, I wouldn't even say ops. Well, I guess the thing that's frustrating with all of this that we haven't like touched. So Asuka and Charlotte will be wrestling each other for the championship.
At Money in
Bianca's
the Bank,
also, yes, Bianca's also here. So, I mean, I guess it's a question. Like, how do we feel about how do we feel about Charlotte, Bianca? I don't want to see Asuka lose that championship to Charlotte. That's for sure.
So that is what I was about to say, because Bianca in this segment, Bianca is she's explaining her motives to us quite clearly, like quite clearly. She's like, I keep doing it. I'm trying to do it the right way, but I'm sick and tired of doing it the right way because people are stepping over me. I'm gonna do it my way, right or wrong, my way. I'm like, thank you. So it's setting the ground for like what you could consider a heel turn, but honestly, I think it's setting the ground for her to just be a tweener, because when she came out, she still got that pop. She still got that EST chant. So she doesn't need to turn completely heel. She just let us know what her motivations are, and people will rock with it and back with her. But the problem with that is the chemistry between Charlotte and Bianca was really good and really palpable. Unfortunately, neither of them have the championship. It's Asuka who has the championship.
Right.
And what scares me about all of this is Asuka will be another transitional title. She won't get any type of real good feud before Charlotte. More than likely, I would assume Charlotte would take it off of her, and then we get a Bianca chase, and maybe Charlotte Bianca at WrestleMania 40. Like,
but you know, Mari, what the which I think I like the idea of Charlotte Bianca at WrestleMania 40, one way or the other, just to continue the horsewomen thing. But I will say that to me, it's with the three women, one of them being Charlotte involved, it is reminding me of a couple of summers ago when it was Charlotte, Nikki ASH, aka Nikki Cross, and Rhea, and then Charlotte kind of just trounced them all. But that's not going to happen. I know that won't happen now, but that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, Torin, your thoughts on all of this?
Do you think they're going possible triple threat with this?
So that's what everybody thought. We thought we were going to get a triple threat at Money in the Bank, but Bianca said she'll just be ringside. She said, I'll just be ringside, and then whoever wins, I'm going to come face to face with them, and I'm going to challenge them. So,
or do we not to cut you off, but do we have what, maybe 2 weeks left until
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
So I think there's still time for Adam Pearce or whoever makes decisions. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
To make it a triple threat that results in a no finish. And so at that point, it's them fighting over who gets the next shot. Like, is it going to be Bianca by herself or is it going to be Charlotte by herself? And it probably won't be Charlotte.
My thought process is, I think that if they saw what I saw, they need to stretch this. So my thought is, you have Charlotte versus Asuka, Bianca at ringside. Bianca causes a no DQ, causes a DQ some way, shape, or form. She accidentally gets involved into the whatever. Asuka keeps the belt, DQ finish, triple threat at SummerSlam. I think you sell tickets with a triple threat at SummerSlam. Then if they have the triple threat at SummerSlam, from there they can plot what the rest of the season is going to be.
And you know what? The thing I like about this, or about that, Mari, is that what I'm hoping they do, if they go with that approach, is that Asuka retains at SummerSlam, and then we have this Bianca Charlotte feud that begins, not for the championship, because I don't think they need the championship in there. And it's nice for me. It's nice when Charlotte isn't in the championship picture, because I think that those stories can have potential to be like maybe even more interesting or motivated by something that's not being like the one with the belt. But then you could have Asuka go on to a feud with, like, I don't know if Money in the Bank will come into the picture with whoever wins that or what, but you have options for Asuka. Like, it could be, and we're going to talk about that next week, but
Io Sky is,
Io Sky is there.
They're gonna build that one.
I mean,
and they're gonna go to town. They're gonna go to town.
And they've planted they've always like planted these little seeds even before we even saw them interact at all. I just feel like the fans have been like shipping that feud essentially on social media.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I agree, Matt. Asuka could retain at SummerSlam, and it still be like Charlotte and Bianca are so focused on each other that Asuka retains, and then you can move to Asuka Io feud. Maybe Io wins Rumble or something like that. And we get Asuka Io at WrestleMania, and we can get a Charlotte Bianca at WrestleMania with no title. That would be, I think a Charlotte Bianca no title, just streaks on the line, could be good, because Bianca is undefeated at WrestleMania right now. Charlotte is technically undefeated one-on-one at WrestleMania right now. So you kind of just put both of their streaks on the line. You could say Charlotte was Asuka's streak ender. So Charlotte can say she's gonna beat Bianca. Bianca can say she's gonna put another horsewoman in the dirt. I think that would be much better. But we just don't know. Like, this is, again, we're booking. No matter what, I think the three of them so far this is gonna be good. This is a great way to start off this WWE Women's Championship feud, and I'm excited for it. And I think we're all excited for it because we've been talking about it a lot. So we got to move on. Let's move on to Rhea. Rhea got a new title as well. Rhea received the new Women's World Championship. So yes, it did take me a minute to be like, what was the difference? Like, what? So she is the world champion. The world champion, like Matt said, they did not put heavyweight.
Yeah, wouldn't that be funny if they were like, okay, she's the women's world heavyweight champion. It's like, but is she a heavyweight? Why?
So she's just the women's world champion. I love this because she came out by herself to receive the title. Adam Pearce gives her the title. She's getting, the crowd loves Rhea. We all know everybody loves Rhea.
Mommy.
People were chanting mommy, mommy. And then as Dominik comes out and it's just I love this. Perfect. I love that they play into this. It is absolutely perfect
because it shuts down the it shuts down the reaction that we don't like. We don't want people cheering her. We want her to be booed, and I love that Dom is such a heat magnet.
It's so perfect.
This is where he needs to be, how he needs to be used.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Dom. Dom and Rhea are like an elevated version of like when it comes to character and all that.
Yeah.
Not character, but dynamics of like Carmella and Ellsworth. Like it's that perfect like the man is the heat magnet so that the woman can still kind of get that the like everybody's like yes, but then the man comes around and you're like god dang it like like
I know. I mean obviously there's the other comparison which just speaks to like how good they are. Oh my gosh, like 25 years ago at this, almost 25 years ago at this point, but like China and Eddie Guerrero, of course, that's like the direct thing. She's calling him Latino, he and everything. So
yeah,
I love what they're going for. It's just different and it's fresh. And the one thing that throws me off is that, you know, they really like, I wish that intergender wrestling in WWE were like a little bit more of a thing, because to me it makes it so wild that like Rhea could really destroy any of these men, and they're like, I can't even like, you know, hit my move on her, whatever. And so I'm like wondering when they'll cross that line, if they ever do. But it is funny because like she could obviously take it. She could wrestle a full match against any of these people. It's very strange to me. But I get it, but it's like a little strange. Yeah, Torin.
I'm sorry, but I'm saying it doesn't matter when or where he returns. Randy Orton has to be the one to put hands on her.
He will.
Yeah.
He has to be the first.
His history.
He's the exception for whatever reason.
The pop will take the roof off the state.
Yeah.
No one has put hands on her yet. Like maybe a little bit. They might have knocked her out the way, but like Randy will put hands on her.
Yeah.
I know.
In the most safest way that he can. So
I still don't know his status with his back injuries. But yeah, I agree. I do love the Rhea's like her positioning. I was very upset that Cody Rhodes came out during this. Like we'll get into the Dominik and Cody Rhodes of it all.
Yeah.
But I don't like that they are dropping the ball on building up a feud for Rhea. Like all of the things that I said about KO and Sammy go out the window when it comes to Rhea, because I just feel like they haven't given her anything. They've given her what she did. Natalia, she like squashed her at the Saudi show.
That was actually disrespectful. Like
because the Saudi, you know, the Saudis love Natalia. That's why she's out there. They love her, and I'm so happy for her.
The
like,
idea of that's hilarious to me. For
it is, but it's because you know she was one of the first women to have the match out there, so they love Natalia. That's why she's always on that show, and yeah, and Rhea versus Zelina, which was great because it's boosted Zelina's profile enough that Zelina is in the Money in the Bank match, and she's a contender in that. So, but Rhea's really preoccupying her time with Dominik and Cody Rhodes and the Judgment Day, and I really want somebody to kind of step to her. Unfortunately, I feel like Raw's women's roster is a little bit weaker than SmackDown's, a lot of bit weaker than SmackDown's. The only people that like are truly coming to mind are actually feuding with Becky, which is so weird. You know, it's weird because Rhea is a heel women's champion, but right now Becky is kind of getting all the heat from all of the rest of the heels, almost like as if she was booked as the champion. Like I didn't put it up here because it's a lot going on, but Becky is currently feuding with Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus. We talked about it a few weeks ago, but she's also semi-feuding with Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. And and Becky's gearing up for the Money in the Bank match as well. Her and Chelsea Green are going to be in the Money in the Bank match, along with a few other women. So it feels like the Raw women's division are not focused on Rhea, which makes me think that one of them will more than likely win the Money in the Bank match. I'm thinking we'll talk a little bit more about that next week. But I just don't understand. I'm trying to remember who else is on Raw, but it's just like you know, Coda's gone.
So she's injured
on SmackDown. Yeah, like Like Damage Control's on SmackDown. Like every I feel like everybody's on SmackDown right now. And then Charlotte coming back and Charlotte immediately going to SmackDown is weird. Like I'm so confused as who they have over there on Raw.
Yeah, I couldn't have confidently even guessed 5 people that were for sure on that brand. So that's why I was like,
Yeah, like literally all I have is the people who are tussling with Becky right now. So Becky, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Chelsea Green, Sonya Deville. It's like, where are all the faces?
Hold on. Let me just put something out there. We know that Trish, we could go into like speculation, but like, let's assume that we're going to have a Becky Trish match at SummerSlam because obviously there's that feud. I don't know if that means, I don't know what that means, but I guess like if they're tied up together and let's say that they do something with Bianca and Charlotte, then where does that leave? Like, we talked about Asuka, but with Rhea, there is really a big question mark.
It's a big question mark.
Who?
So I don't know. That's looking really interesting to me. So that's it. I love what Rhea is doing, but I just want her involved in the women's division a little bit more.
Quick question. I don't know if this person is injured or not, but I have a far-fetched idea. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me. We've already seen Zelina and Rhea, so that we've already gotten that kind of David and Goliath thing, and it was even better because it was kind of like in Puerto Rico. But what about if we did Roxanne Perez?
Oh, she is not injured. She is tearing it up in NXT. So that could be a possibility. I have no idea what they're doing it with her. Like
she didn't get drafted.
I don't know.
No, she didn't get drafted.
She didn't get drafted. Okay, I wasn't sure. Nope, she didn't get it. Well, she just hit this fire ass promo in NXT like this week. So she's like legit. Like, but I don't understand why they did all of that stuff with her. Like her, anyways, her accidentally getting the title, then accidentally dropping the title, but then I have no idea what. Yeah, was she injured? Was she not injured? I'm still confused if that was a shoot or work shoot, whatever. But that would be cute. That would be cute, like Roxanne versus But it's just
I don't know if they're coming to the Texas, like that Rio Grande Valley area again anytime soon. But not to just make it a town.
I think it's definitely going to be a wait and see type of situation on that. So yeah, we got to get a move on.
So sorry.
Oh damn.
No, it's okay. Dominik and Cody Rhodes, like I said, Cody Rhodes came out. He challenged Dominik to a match at Money in the Bank, which I was like, wait, that's what made me realize Cody's not in the Money in the Bank match, which is like ridiculous to me.
Well, I mean, I think it's fine. He doesn't need it. The man doesn't need it because here's the thing.
He doesn't.
Michael Cole, the thing I realized getting ready for this podcast is that Michael Cole cannot stop saying the exact same phrase or some version of it, which is this Money in the Bank is an opportunity to turn your fortunes around, to change your career forever. And Cody just doesn't need to have his fortunes turned around. So I feel like we might have some surprise winners because like every single qualifying match he said the same thing, and I just wonder if there's a reason why they're trying to hit home the point that it's really like a turning point for somebody. Cody has his own story though.
I know that there's a reason, and I promise I will talk about it in the when we get to the men's Money in the Bank match. Yeah. So, but we're just getting Dominik and Cody because Cody, it's weird because Cody is also, there's a lot of like intermixing of feuds because Cody did challenge Brock Lesnar to an open challenge like weeks ago. Brock hasn't said anything. Cody was in the middle of kind of like feuding with the Miz when Dominik got involved, and Dominik called him a bad father because he's not at home with his daughter, which is hilarious.
Not for me to judge, but valid.
So my thought process is we're gonna get Dominik and Cody at Money in the Bank, and more than likely, I'm assuming Brock Lesnar is gonna come out at some point and interfere in that, set up Cody versus Brock.
Oh my
match
gosh.
at SummerSlam.
Could you imagine Dom getting
Dom
that win
might
on
win.
Cody and
Yeah.
then no, I see it. I'm
That
seeing
would be
it.
so good.
Yeah, it
I'm
would.
It's
sorry.
not deserved. Oh my
Give
gosh.
it to him. Give it
Exactly.
to him.
Give that more, pump up that heat on Dom.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Cody
So
is
that
just that selfless, so we might get it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that'd be
We
great.
might get it. Okay, that would be great.
So Seth has been, I mean, he has been carrying this world heavyweight championship on his back. He is freaking killing it, man. I mean, his title defense against Damian Priest was really fun, really good
Mm-hmm.
match. But this feud that they are gearing up between him and Finn Balor is, I'm like, I'm getting third degree burns from these promos over here, man. Like, but
Yeah.
their history, I like that they're finally like addressing their history about they were the first two to battle for the Universal Championship when it was introduced. Finn won. Finn actually beat Seth, but Seth, Finn injured his shoulder during the match and he was
Right.
forced to give it up after 24 hours. And Seth eventually got the Universal
24?
Championship. 24 hours. Yep.
Yeah.
He was Universal Champion for 24 hours.
There's heat.
And
I don't care.
yeah. And he's still technically he's still the first Universal Champion. And
Sure.
they were using that in storyline for a while. And then they don't mention it when they don't. So Finn telling Seth, like, I'm gonna take everything away from you, like you took away from me, while Rollins is just laughing in his face and like, how's that shoulder hold it up? I'm like, y'all are ridiculous.
Rude.
Like, he didn't say that, he didn't say that line, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, I feel like, am I about to watch a street fight? Are y'all about to like just start throwing bows? Like
I feel like I need to look away.
Yes. That's some good promoing, and that's some like deep stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like that is some ish, because I remember Finn talking about how, being chosen to be the first Universal Champion after coming up from NXT was like one of the greatest moments of his life.
Yeah.
And to realize that he got so injured that he wasn't going to be able to do it. And not only was he not able to do it, he was out for a year. He was out for a whole year. It completely dead stopped his momentum completely. And it basically changed the course of his career, honestly, because he ended up having to go back down to NXT to get back to where he is now. So it is just like there's so much history behind this feud. So it's going to be interesting to see that at Money in the Bank. I don't know if they're teasing like something weird between the Judgment Day here. I have no clue, but I know are they? Do you? Yes. So are you getting that, Torin? That Phil?
My question.
Yeah, like because people have been saying like Damian Priest looks like he's getting ready to kind of venture out back on his own, maybe turn a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Dom is kind of involved in whatever Rhea's doing. Rhea's involved in whatever Dom's doing. So they're kind of their own little subset.
Yeah.
And
right.
So Finn and Damian are kind of beefing a little bit back and forth. He cost him in the last week or two.
Which was him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell of a match, by the way. That was a disgusting turnbuckle, whatever, barricade bomb. Disgusting.
Yeah, and like a piece of this that I also want to mention of this theory is that in the last couple weeks we did see this promo where it was Damian Priest and Finn backstage, but it started out with Finn talking to JD McDonough of NXT fame. And that like it looks like they're gonna go in some direction with that just because they have a history. Not excited for that, but that like I could see them becoming a team and becoming a thing, and then Priest going into his singles reign. Because the thing that's been amazing about Damian Priest has been he had his Bad Bunny match, which was technically the co-main event of Backlash. And he just had this match with Seth, so he's kind of like in his main event era, which I really appreciate. And I mean, I just don't I don't really know where Dom fits in with all of this, but like, is it going to be Dom Rhea and Damian Priest as a thing, and then JD McDonough and Finn Balor's. Like, I don't know what they're doing.
Oh no, they're obviously turning on Damian Priest. Like JD McDonough is gonna replace him.
The old.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then maybe Priest is a face again. Who knows?
I love him as a heel, though.
I mean, I do too.
What does tweener mean? Is that the in between of face and heel?
Yep.
That's what he's gonna do, because he already have that whole rock star machismo, like I'm paying homage, Razor's Edge type of deal. He can't really go
Razor's Edge.
You don't like that move?
I love that move. Sorry, I love that move.
Oh,
it looks dangerous, but I don't.
It looks so dangerous.
I don't take
it
does.
Yeah, I used to love when Roman did it. Like, I'm so mad Roman doesn't do it anymore.
I love a drive-by.
Yeah. Don't we all?
But yeah, no, I completely I agree with all of that. I think, yeah, we'll see. Well, I still think
Zoe Stark is gonna come soon and also join the Judgment Day, but that's just my theory.
Who?
Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark.
Because her roots started growing out, and that's the same thing Rhea did. Like, she just started growing her roots out of nowhere, and they were like,
Trish needs to, get in there with the blonde and just help her out.
Trish needs to go find Lita and
not them adding two people that I hate to like one of my favorite factions. I'd be like, no, thank you.
No, we'll talk about Zoe Stark more. I'm sure next week too. But I'm trying to get to the bottom of why Mari. Well, never mind. Let's not get into Zoe Stark right now.
Okay.
She gives vibes that she gives.
Those vibes are confirmed. Whatever vibes you're vibing, they're confirmed.
Send me some links and some screenshots and show me what she's like.
Put me in her chat.
I know. Yeah, I will. I'll send you some.
Wow, that's really impressive. Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the NXT women's tag team titles will be unified as well. Look at this. Look at all this unification. Everybody
bring people together. Unity.
Yeah. So Alba Fire and Ela Dawn were drafted to SmackDown as the women's tag champions. They are going with this whole scorched earth thing. We beat all of the women's tag teams in NXT. We are bringing the titles here. Rhonda and our friend of the podcast, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, friend of the pod.
Came out and
dear friend.
They were like, well, we want your titles. Shayna said that those were that the NXT women's tag titles are there because of her, but I was like, I thought she was already on the main roster when they came out with those tag titles.
I think she was maybe saying was she say okay, I heard that, but I think that I wasn't sure if that was because they had the tag team, like Nia Jax and Shayna had the tag championships, I believe, when they started, like when they when they created the women's, maybe that's what happened.
I see what you're saying. Okay,
by the way, here's a picture of Shayna. I had to zoom in for the YouTube viewers to crop out the other one. Let's just move over.
I would much rather you pull it out. So she didn't want that moment that large. I think that that makes sense. I think that makes sense now, because I was so confused. I was like, is she talking about because when she was in NXT she was the champion for like a year? But then I was like, that doesn't make sense.
No,
but I guess it makes sense because her and Nia were the other tag champs,
right?
When those that makes a lot more sense. Thank you, Matt.
Okay.
Yeah. So Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax were champions at one point, and they were champions for a long time. Yeah,
a minute. I was there.
Yeah. She's like, I was there. Yeah. So maybe that is it. Because honestly, I'm fine with this, because we kept saying, why did they introduce these belts to that brand? It didn't really make sense to us. I think Ela Dawn and Alba Fire are a perfect team together. Ela Dawn she was one of my favorite like standouts when they did the women's UK they did the tournament like years and years ago to crown the first NXT UK Women's Champion. I think I like her and Jenny were my favorites because I felt like they had like the most like charisma of the brand. And I think pairing Eladon with Alba Fire, who is, you know, KLR, who is a great wrestler. She's a great women's wrestler. Yeah. Who has never really really had too much of a personality. Them together are so good. Yes. They've been having these vignettes with like fire and stuff. That's been cool. So
Mari, is it Ela or I don't know. Ela
Sorry,
or Isla?
It's Isla. Maybe Isla Dawn. Like
Isla.
Yeah, it's ISLA. So it's like Isla or Ela.
The other way
it
is
doesn't matter. Oh yeah, Ela Dragunov. I think it's Isla Dawn. It's because it's like a like island. It's like island without.
That's how we'll remember it.
Yeah, Isla.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there's no
wrestling.
Yeah, I know you don't pronounce the S. That's I know. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, it's Isla Dawn. Mm-hmm. Yes.
There we go. Problem solved.
So yeah, they're gonna have a tag team unification match at Money in the Bank. So
Money in the Bank, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. Let's take a very quick ad break and we'll be right back. Okay. All right, we got to get to the dissolution of the Bloodline. I mean, wow.
Let's talk about it.
I don't even like. How can I talk about a cinematic masterpiece?
You know what? This is my one. Okay, let me just make a complaint about this to start, because my complaint about the Bloodline story is that it is so deeply involved and such a masterpiece that, like, I just feel like I have to watch the segments like multiple times to keep up. I'm like, ooh, this is like, it feels like a soap opera, but like a really well done, award-winning one. And I like my wrestling simple. So, but no, this is amazing. This is amazing. It's just like funny because I feel like watching everything else, I'm like, okay, got it. Nice and simple. But with this, it's just like so deeply
you're literally, you can't look at your phone. You have to pay attention.
No, you cannot. Exactly. And then it's like all the backstage segments and like everything Paul Heyman says you have to like really like listen to. And then you're like, oh wait, are they not together? I thought they already broke up. Oh wait, they didn't already break up. Oh wait, so it's so well done.
They're shading each other on Instagram. They're twittering at each other. Like, what?
I know. It's so great. It's interesting how much they put into it, and for good reason, but like it's interesting how much effort they put into this specific story, even compared with everything else on
you want to know the best part though?
What's the best part?
It's almost once in a lifetime. Like, when are you gonna have brothers, cousins, someone that worked with their daddy? Like, it's almost once in a lifetime.
Maybe probably like 20 years.
Yeah, like a generational thing.
A generation. Yep. I love that. I think I agree. Like the Bloodline is officially over. I think it's one of those factions that really truly should go down as like the Four Horsemen, the Von Erichs. Like, I think it is a generational defining faction, and you know, feel how you want to feel about Roman not defending or whatever. Like, this has been a great story. The what do we call it? The seducing of Jey Uso, trying to figure out where does Jey Uso's loyalties land? Do they land with his brother Jimmy, who saw the light before Jey did, surprisingly, and told him to break away from his cousin? And this promo on SmackDown was crazy when Paul Heyman and Roman told Jey, like, Jimmy didn't want you to be main event Jey Uso. Jimmy wanted you to stay in his shadow. And it's so hard to think, because honestly, 3 years ago, if you would have told me which Uso I was rooting for, the breakout Uso, it would have been Jimmy. It would have been Jimmy 100%, because he always seemed to be the one that had the most character. I knew him more from Total Divas and stuff like that. Yeah. But when Jimmy went down and it was just Jey, I was like, I thought thought it was done for them until Jimmy came back. But Jay and the Roman feud, I see Jey Uso in a completely new light now. Like I did not know who Jey Uso was until 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like as a person, I did not know who he was. Torin?
Sorry, I didn't know if you would confuse that for me throwing out the one. I missed the main event Jey Uso era, and so it was because Jimmy was injured and he kind of had to carry them both.
Yeah, it was in the pandemic. It was mostly all pandemic era. It was the beginning of Roman's the beginning of his like domination, and he basically, the main event Jey Uso thing was, it was really an abusive relationship because Paul Heyman and Roman, technically it was Paul Heyman and Roman, they would put him in the main event. He was getting opportunities because of them, but they beat him into submission. They had to continuously beat him into submission.
Oh my god!
Until he would fall in line. They had an I Quit match where between Jay and Roman, and Jay only said I quit because Roman started beating up Jimmy, if I remember correctly. Was that it? Yeah. So yeah, so they basically had to brainwash Jey Uso to get in line and stay in line and fall in line, and so that's why this is the biggest break here, and that's why Jay confronting Jimmy about like, were you jealous of me being main event Jey Uso, and Jimmy being like, yeah, I was, you know, and to say all of that, and for him to absolutely knock Roman's top off was crazy, man. That was
his head went to the 5th, 6th, and 7th row. Like it flew.
Yeah. So great. And Roman sold it like a shotgun blast. So I mean, if you want to, WWE knows the deal. They have an ongoing playlist of all of the Bloodline stuff dating back 3 years. I think it's over 2 hours now. So definitely go and check that out. We'll be updating this as this goes along, but the Bloodline's dead. What's next for Jimmy and Jay without Roman? It's going to be Roman, Paul, and Solo going forward. And I'm here. I'm buckled up. I'm here for the ride. Let's go.
Where are we going? Like, take me wherever.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Because I'm like, let's not even get into the speculation, but you know, like maybe they need to get some other Bloodline people in there to compensate. I'm not gonna start that, but
yeah, let's not start that just yet. And finally, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match is all set. Like I said, the women's ladder match is still being decided. They still have like one more spot, plus there's like a shot for Bailey to be taken out by Shotzi. So we'll talk about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match next week, but the men is all set. So we have Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight versus Butch versus Damian Priest versus Santos Escobar. So this is so keep this line up, Matt. So you kept asking why do they keep saying, oh, this could change somebody's trajectory, this can really turn somebody's career around? It's because Gunther had actually talked to Matt Riddle in a backstage promo and was like, yeah, I want you to go in, win a spot in Money in the Bank, and then challenge me. Like, Gunther is like trying to run the show over in Raw, and Gunther and Imperium are kind of throwing their weight around. And so I think there's a very good chance that whoever wins this Money in the Bank might actually go after the Intercontinental Championship instead. Which is why, because there's been lots of commentary on people, like when they saw this lineup, people are like, I don't understand. These are
giving
not
Intercontinental.
Really, yes, it's giving mid card. Like, people were very confused. I know, I don't agree, but that's what people were saying.
I like them all.
And it kind of makes sense in a sense, because like, if you have Money in the Bank and you're staring at, do I want to try and beat Roman, who's held the belt for thousands of days? Do I want to try and go at Seth, who's has that new belt, who's been whooping ass all up and down everything? Or do I try and go for Gunther? Like, I mean, none of those sound like a step down, but there's a lot of speculation that whoever wins this Money in the Bank might end up going for the Intercontinental title instead.
That's new. I haven't heard that one.
I mean, literally, because it was so strange last year, and I think it not intentionally, but it fit his character with Austin Theory when he won, right? He won, and then he was like, "Oh, let me go for the U.S.
title."
Which, why? But I mean, it worked out for him. So maybe this is just a shift for them with Money in the Bank, but it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. But I don't know if I'm signing up to get in the ring with Roman. So
not at all. No, I just have thoughts and concerns and questions. Like, well, from that picture that you just showed, only 3 of them have been a champion on the main roster, right?
LA Knight has not. Santos Escobar, I don't believe has been.
Butch
Ricochet has. Shinsuke has.
Damien has.
Yeah, so 3 of them.
And those 3 have only been mid-card champions.
Right,
IC and US. Yeah.
Off the top of your head, my final question is, who do you think has the promo ability to be able to do well in the surprise cash-ins, like all the promos you're going to have to do throughout the year of that lineup? Like I don't like Austin Theory, but when he used to get knocked out trying to cash in, that was funny. He did that well. Who could do that of this group?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would be a different story, but the 2 people that jump out, just pure promo ability, but I don't see it for him. LA Knight is amazing in terms of the promos, but then I just don't. I think they really need to build Shinsuke back up again as much as people love him. But he has the charisma and just brings something different. I'm not seeing that, but who knows? And then Priest is really interesting because they have been putting more steam behind him. So it's kind of hard to sort through. And I mean, I guess that's the beauty of the match, that one of them will have the opportunity to go for something new. I just hope it's the world championship, unless there's a good reason for them to not go for that world championship.
I think Imperium. I don't know, we'll see, but I think LA Knight, Shinsuke, or Priest winning would be great to me. I want Shinsuke to win personally. I want him to just come out and dance around with that briefcase and just.
I want him to be
that'd be the funniest thing. I can't. Oh my god! But LA Knight. But to be quite honest, if we're talking promos, LA Knight could sell some scathing promos with Money.
He would literally taunt you until the end of the year.
You said what?
I said he would literally taunt you with the briefcase for 364 days.
And and they'd all be entertaining days. That's the thing with him. There's definitely an opportunity for him to win it, and I think really break out as a star in so many ways. And so, we'll see. And I'm sure we'll talk about it more, Mari, as the time nears. But
we'll go full in depth on each Money in the Bank ladder match like we normally do in our preview podcast in about a week and a half.
Yes, and we'll go more into the women's Money in the Bank. We didn't just decide to ignore the women.
Yeah, I know.
That would be wild if we did. But no, we'll get into that as that match is as the participants are finalized, right?
Yep. Exactly. So, like we said, all of the highlights that we talked about from this week can be found in the highlights playlist that is in your show notes or show descriptions. Thank you so much, Torin, for joining us. We are so glad we could have you on. We got to do it again.
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe we'll have you on after a big pay-per-view and we can talk about something. So where do you want the people to find you? You want to plug any social media?
I kind of do. I don't have anything to promote at the moment, but I do have some things in the works. If you would like to be here on the ground floor or just ready when I do start to put the content and the information out, you can follow me on Twitter at Taylor's Karma, TAYLORSKARMAA. That's double A. Yes, I am a Big Brother stan.
Yes. Full disclosure, that's how we all met.
I am newly back on Instagram, so you can follow a very empty Instagram account called Talk Torin to Me, TALKTAUREAN, the number 2 ME.
Yes.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mari.
Oh, wait, sorry. Let me do the two like the number 2 ME. There we go. Yes.
Yay!
And we love that. And thank you for coming on again. When I don't know, who knows where things are gonna go, but I'm just saying, if you ever do have the hookup for those front row WrestleMania tickets, I don't know, maybe WWE is gonna have you on one of the pay-per-view panels. You know who to give those tickets.
You will get them before I will get them, Matthew.
We'll see. But yeah, and speaking of me, Matthew,
yes.
Matt Scott GW on social media, and I'm mainly just here on the here on the Wrestling RHAPUp, of course. The other thing I just want to plug is the Pride Has Spoken podcast, talking about Survivor, interviewing queer Survivor players. We interviewed Carla Cruz Godoy. We interviewed Hai from this season 42. And I just love that we've been able to have those conversations. It's been a lot of fun. And you could check that out at robhaswebsite.com/pridefeed. Get your Pride Has Spoken shirt over at robhaswebsite.com/pride shirt. I think that's the link. And that's all I'm plugging for now, I think. But that's what's up. And Mari, I know, Mari, you're so humble and you never share what your plugs unless I ask. So let me ask, where can the people find you?
Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2. You can also find me at twitch.tv/Mari Talks Too Much, where every Wednesday I stream Dredge and I stream our Goose Duck lobbies. But also you can find me every week bringing True Crime Tuesdays to RHAP, me and Sarah Carradine, over on the Crime Scene podcast. We are a true crime review podcast where we review true crime documentaries, docuseries, so you don't have to, or so you can. This past week we just dropped the Curious Case of Natalia Grace review. It was an amazing docuseries. It's an amazing podcast. So go to robhasawebsite.com/crime feed to subscribe to that, please. And thank you. And of course, you can find us the Wrestling RHAPUp on Twitter at Wrestling RHAPUp. That's at Wrestling RHAPUP. You can also use hashtag Wrestling RHAPUp to join the conversation. And of course, you can send any long form emails or questions to wrestling@robhasawebsite.com. And thank you to all and everybody in the Job Has a Squadcast Facebook group, the unofficial official Facebook group of the Wrestling RHAPUp. We love you all. Thank you so much for supporting us. And of course, finally, anytime is a good time to become an RHAP patron. You can go to www.patreon.com/RHAP to become a patron of Rob Has a Podcast, where you can get exclusive access to exclusive podcasts, interviews, patron 5 for 5s, all of that good stuff. So just go check us out on patreon.com. Thank you. This has been a wonderful episode. Please remember, wrestling is for everybody, but not all wrestling is for everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party. Bull Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca Belair, Best podcast, flush it in the air, Roman Reigns and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party.